Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.
In the midst of business, not a lot of people who have an outside view of how business is run, and hence we are very excited to be doing this with you. And we generally admire journalists, writers of all kinds, and that we are very excited to be doing this with you, Tamal.
Thank you.
Tamal, to begin with, if you could tell us a little bit about your journey, because you started with English literature, your graduation was in English literature, and today you are a journalist and a writer in the space of finance and banking specifically. How did this journey transpire, and what were some of the stumbling blocks along the way?
No, I don't think there's any stumbling block. I think it's a pretty smooth journey. I think at the end of the day, you need to enjoy what you are doing. Otherwise it's not worth it. If you think that I'm doing a good job, probably I'm doing, and that's because I simply love it. I enjoy what I do. To cut a long story short, yes, I am an English literature. I did my post graduation from Kolkata University. And those days in mid 80s, there are not too many job opportunities. So the options were either you become a civil servant or you become a sort of teacher, college, university, school. I didn't want to do either of them because that was the conventional path. So, and it just happened that I became a journalist. Those days there was no school of journalism. It was sort of Times of India. I belonged to the last batch, where they used to pick up people from different regions of India, and through a very strenuous, tough exams, the entire process, because those days used to say is as tough as Indian civil service, if not more. I don't know how. I just cracked it and I got into Times of India as a trainee journalist for a year. I mean, that was a 1 year training on stipend in Mumbai. I had nobody in Mumbai. I took a train to VT station. I did not know where was Times of India. I took a cab.
We took a cab from VT station to the Times of India.
Yes,
Across the road.
From the GPO side, I went.
Right.
I came out. I polished my shoe, and I took a cab. The cab took me on the Sahid Bhagat Singh Marg road,
Right.
and got back to the DN road and dropped me at 4 rupees 50 paise was the cab fare. 1985, I'm talking about. So that's how it happened, and I was into doing all things, book reviews and theatre reviews and stories on Alcoholic Anonymous and those kind of things. I used to write for Illustrated Weekly on child marriages. It was nothing to do with finance. In fact, when 1991 Indian economic revolution happened, it went over my head. I didn't know what was happening. But sometime in mid 90s, I got an opportunity to get into this business, and I got into banking. And I found that banking those days used to be treated like a very esoteric subject. Only a few people understand banking, and if they are going to meet RBI governor, they will walk up and down and smoke a cigarette. It's a very they were just sort of atlas. The entire world is over your shoulder. That was the kind of thing. And I was a stupid fellow, I did not know anything, so I used to ask very stupid questions. And surprisingly, I found that the actual interesting stories are coming out of the stupid questions. Because people used to get scared, even today also. You think that should I ask this, shouldn't I look silly? But I took this as a challenge because I had nothing to lose. I did not have the finance background, so why be ashamed of this?
Tamal, can you give us an anecdote of when you might have asked a stupid question and you ended up getting a great, insightful answer because of that?
No, it's not an insight as such. What I thought is this: people like us, meaning the journalists, financial journalists, who are they? We are nothing but an intermediate, right? On the one side, things are happening. On the other side is my readers. So I need to tell my readers that this is what's happening and this is what is meant for you. So then say credit policy, Reserve Bank of India's policy, which the interest has gone up. So what for me as a reader? So I asked just sir, what does it mean? What's going to happen? And the answer is happen is your home loan will go up, your auto loan will go up. No. So I used to think that people were taking cover under the jargons to show their wisdom, but as a reader, I was not getting much. That was the way in the 90s when I got into this. and banking, etc. was going to happen. Of course, the economy just opened up, and Reserve Bank of India, two monetary policy was the kind of event. Now every day things are happening. So the point I am making is this: because you asked me how the transformation of the transition of the migration, how it happened.
Right.
What I am saying is this: I found this an advantage coming not a person of finance and getting into finance. I used to ask stupid questions. I used to look for answers. I used to tell people, the CEOs of banks, and I think, sir, I don't understand anything. Just please make me understand. And I would not write anything unless I am convinced and I have understood that. So that way I thought, it's very critical that common sense plays a very critical role. Curiosity plays a very critical role. So I think if you have the common sense and curiosity, and if you have the guts to be stupid,
Right.
and of course you need to have the basic understanding of how to write, then journalism is pretty okay. I don't think it's a very tough job. Yeah.
So how did the transition then happen? So take us through your journey since once you got into the field of finance journalism, you worked for some of the biggest brands in the country as far as finance journalism is concerned. How has that journey been? What have your learnings been over that time?
No, I had a small stint to my like I said, in general journalism. I was the Times of India trainee,
Right.
the largest newspaper then, even now, much larger than now.
Yes.
And my initiation into business journalism was in Economic Times. Then subsequently, I worked at various business standard. I had three stints including my current stint as a consulting editor and columnist. This is my third stint in PS. I worked with Financial Express once too, and I'm one of the key members of the founding team of Mint. So yes, past 23 years, 24 years, I have been in this business of journalism, focusing on banking and finance. And this journey is pretty good. I think if you have an open mind, and because at the end of the day, I believe that, that's the, if you can call it, mantra for me in this. If I am writing on banking and finance, and only bankers are reading me, then I am a complete failure.
Right.
So my job as a in the business of communication is this. I have no gender bias, but even my grandma should understand what I am.
Right.
So what I see is this. Typically, my target audience is a standard 8 student.
Right.
If what I am writing, it could be on red card, it could be on rate hike, it could be on foreign exchange market, it could be on bond market, it could be on derivatives, esoteric derivatives, it could be on inflation, anything. But I keep that in mind. What I write, a standard 8 student, if that fellow is that boy or the girl, whether he or she is understanding what I write. I think that's the key to it. We need to make it easy reading. We don't need to take the refuge of jargons, because my objective is not to tell the world how wise I am.
Right.
My objective is to how it makes sense for the person, and that's it. In fact, incidentally, when I wrote my first book in 2012, I used to run through every chapter through my son, who was in school at that point of time. And he used to get the feedback, I can't understand this. Or, can you give me a little bit of this gentleman you are saying, he's 5 feet, 8 inches. Yes, good, I can visualize. But probably, does he formally, does he like wearing ties, what kind of ties? Or does he wear cufflinks? Why don't you give this kind of thing so that I can visualize what is happening now? And so every chapter was actually, first script was written by my son, who was a school student at that time.
Right.
Or probably 11, 12 student, not a class 8 student, but 11 student. And I used to follow it religiously, because this person is my actual leader. And this book is, I would like to say that it has set a trend. Dr. Y.B. Reddy in his foreword, it said that it has set a trend in the financial books, because typically what happens is run the risk of making it a sort of case study, but I did tell a story on that.
Right.
So the journey transformation is this. You want to love, you need to love it. And how I fell in love, I don't know. But I could see the interconnectivity between different markets, like what happens at one place, and then how the bond market and forex market and the banking and the equities and debt. Now you need to see it as a whole. I need to see the interconnectivity of between different markets. You need to see the interconnectivity between different geographies,
Right.
and then you just see, you get sucked into it. You always are seeing things are happening, and you are trying to make sense out of it. So it's actually, trust you me, I don't see it as a profession to earn my living. It My living, that the money part is an offshoot of this, is a byproduct of this.
Right.
I just enjoy what I do.
Okay, I'm going to put you on a spot.
Yeah.
Between writing a book of the magnitude that you do
Yeah.
and actually pursuing your day-to-day journalism career, what is it that excites you more?
No, I mean, it's not. You're not put me a spot at all. I by nature I am a little impatient, and I always look for excitement.
Right.
So, which is why one is of course changing jobs, but that everybody does that for
Right.
their own improvement, so on and so. But I have also changed the way I work. For instance, from I was initially, when I said I started my career in Economic Times, I was in the desk, but I was
Right.
writing,
Right.
and then I shifted to reporting. And then I got into TV, television, first coming as a sort of on the panels and all. Then I ran I think 36 or 40 odd episode called Bankers Trust, interviewing people.
On Bloomberg.
Yes, on Bloomberg TV. So I did that. And then I branched out to writing books.
Right.
Then one fine morning, actually, I quit my job, journalism, and I joined a bank, Bandhan Bank, India's first instance of a microfinance entity becoming a universal bank. So they approached me to join as an advisor strategy. They did not know what they are looking for. I was not very sure what I am, but I took a leap of faith. I thought, if not anything else, I can become a better journalist because I would be a semi-insider kind of thing.
Right.
So now I do multiple things. I do write books. I do write my column as a consulting editor in Business Standard. I am in various forums as a public speaker, and I am attached to. I quit Bandhan, and I am now for quite some time now, a few months now. I am with a small finance bank. It's called Jana Small Finance Bank, based in Bangalore, as an advisor, as a senior advisor. So I do multiple things, but they're all little integrated stuff. No, I'm not doing anything completely different stuff.
Right.
And yeah, as I said, you can call me. It's a challenge. It's a kick, whatever it is. So you're not putting me a spot at all. I mean, I would like to do also maybe an extension into filming something.
Right.
If it's an extension of that, I don't mind writing a script for a film or doing something else. So it's a, I don't know, I don't think I'm a creative artist in that sense, but not exactly a typical journalist also who is just looking for news and just, saying
Reporting.
this, not reporting, not that.
Right. Right.
I try to see the larger perspective. My interest is that. I see the connectivity in the different areas and all, and I get a kick out of it. Yeah.
Tamal, you mentioned liberalization. You also mentioned you see the larger picture, and that is why I want to ask you this: that you've seen the media landscape evolve for a lot of years, like 3 decades, so to speak. How has the media landscape changed in your mind? You've been a very close observer of it from the time when pre-liberalization, how media used to be run. Today, post-liberalization, post so many foreign brands coming and investing. Mint, in fact, had a tie-up with Wall Street Journal, and a lot of brands have come into India. And also technology has changed in a major way. So how has hence the media landscape changed? How has the job of a journalist, what he needs to communicate to the user, how has that changed?
No, everything has changed. There is no comparison as such. I like in the even in 90s, I remember I was in business standard. There was a letter press. There's on a budget day, we will actually stay back in office and get the first print of the budget copy,
Right.
and we smell the
Ink.
smell the ink on the printed paper.
Yes.
And then the papers will be got into truckloads of paper will be distributed. We will leave home, leave office for home
Right.
early morning. So from there, where we have come, it's a fascinating story, and that's not only in India, everywhere. You spoke about the Wall Street Journal mean relationship. That's not the first. Before that, Business Standard had relationship with financial times. None of them is a equity tie-up. It's all content
Brand
sharing.
yeah.
Content sharing. So technology is completely different from letterpress. Now everything is it's a completely different technology. So technology, you don't need to talk, but I mean, we don't need to re-emphasize this. But the other things what will happen is this: media has become the dividing line between different media class, like the newspaper or the magazine and the news portals and TV channels now have been blurred.
Right.
So everybody is competing with everybody, and it's the fastest finger fast.
Yeah.
So it's the speed. It's electrifying speed now. Something happens and you need to tell the world within a second, this is what happened. And everybody is conscious about this. Like, just to give an example, yesterday, Reserve Bank of India is coming out with its biannual sort of health check of the financial industry. It's called the Financial Stability Report. I was supposed to be at 7 o'clock to be coming out. So on Reserve Bank of India website, there was it was a flash coming, this coming soon. And then it said Financial Stability Report. And there was a timer. So you see, central bank is doing this.
Right.
So can you afford not to be like first? Yeah. So one is this, the dividing. Now everybody is competing with everybody.
Right.
So in the process, what happens is this: sometimes you go for the fastest finger first, and that depth of reporting is missing. But we never had any depth of reporting in a general sense. There are odd persons who believed in depth reporting, but then by and large in India, you can't compare it with, say, in business media. I'm talking about business section, like say Wall Street Journal or Financial Times or the Economist in magazine. There is not, because the kind of investment you need to do in people, in training them.
Right.
So, and in giving them long time to work on stories. We don't do this. We tried actually to some extent in 2007 when Mint started.
Right.
We focused on long form stories, certain things which were then new, and of course is caught on. So yes, things have been changing. Other part is this: many of the media houses now owned by certain entities in the corporate world. Right. Or even political affiliations and all. So that's the other thing happens, I think. It's media. When we started our career, media was not a career as such. Like there was no school in journalism, and many of I would not say many of us, at least me. Probably I was not I couldn't find anything else. I landed up here. It was not a design. By accident I am here.
Right.
I did not have the expertise to be here. But nowadays you are finding there are business school, there is journalism schools. People are actually get trained. They are taking it as a profession.
Right.
And journalism now, actually people, much more qualified people are coming into journalism, both journalism and business journalism. So that's the other different thing. In our cases, like I didn't get any other opportunity, I ended up becoming a journalist. But this is not the case. People are consciously following this. So which means that the media houses are now corporate entities.
Right.
They do care for the P&L, and that's also a problem, because you need to be profitable. You need to look after your employees well, so you need to have larger circulations. And then
you make compromises.
You end up having compromising whether you own by politically affiliated entities or you own by corporate. So this is the price you pay. But at the end of the day, I think the readers are the king. It's me as a reader, you as a reader. It's up to us who to accept, who to reject.
Right.
There's no point in bitching about it and grieving about it.
Okay. Tamal, last question around the media industry. Which is the one business media product that you admire the most? Globally, all over the world, whatever products you've seen over the years, whether they are print, whether they are TV, whether they are online, whether it's a film or a show or anything. One business media product that you admire the most.
Now you put me in a spot. I never thought of it like I don't watch TV much.
We can circle back to this question if you
I
want.
don't. No, honestly, I mean, it's the hard talk is one thing. I found that
Team Sebastian.
it's hard but very soft.
Right.
Our media's hard talks are completely different.
Yeah.
Different.
They're a different kind of-
They're very soft, but they're very loud.
Shrill. Yeah.
You know, they're very loud. There's a lot of drama and all.
Right.
But the real hard talk is very soft, actually.
Right.
So if you ask me, offhand, I can think of this.
Right.
But do I make it a habit to watch it regularly? No, but I do watch it.
Right.
But overall, I'm not a big TV watcher. Overall, I'm not a big reader as such. I just look for information, which I go through various channels. Then it's up to me how to interpret that.